This is Commissioner Frank Avila Speak, and the name of our show is Be at Ease with Planning for the Unexpected. And as my guest, I have Sil Bader, and Sil is the project director, Barrington Be at Ease. Thanks for being on the show, Sil.
My pleasure.
And Be at Ease, very interesting name. And my next guest is Bob Lee, and he's also with Be at Ease, and he's going to talk about how he got involved with Be at Ease.
Thank you for
being on the
having
show.
us, Frank.
Oh, no problem. Be at Ease. You know, when I first saw that name, Be at Ease, I'm thinking of a bee. And a bee, you know, in the spring they'll come and work the flowers, pollinate the flowers, and because we need the bees for vegetation for our plants.
Correct.
So that's what, and a bee, they're at ease, you know, going back and forth, and that's what I thought, Be at Ease. But what is Be at Ease, Bob?
Well, Be at Ease is a program to have people engage in advanced care planning. And advanced care planning is to plan for the unexpected.
Yes.
So what we are really trying to encourage everyone to do is have a plan in place. And you work on that plan while we're healthy, while we're of good mind and sound mind. You don't plan for the end of life or a catastrophe when it happens. You plan ahead of time. So that's what Be at Ease is to put everyone at ease, because we have put a plan in place if the unexpected were to happen. If something were to happen to us, like an automobile accident or a stroke,
Yes.
and we couldn't speak on our own behalf, who do you want to speak for yourself?
Yes.
Who do you want to speak? Big responsibility. Have you told them what you want them to say? And then will they carry out your wishes? And that's why the wishes, we will talk a little later about 5 wishes in a document to use. But that's what advanced care planning, it's planning for while we're healthy, not while we're dying.
So you got involved with this because I was reading some of your bio, and it says that you're with Ride for 3 Reasons, and you cover what, 12,000 miles?
I've ridden a Ride for 3 Reasons really was a series of 3 charity rides.
3 charity rides?
3 charity rides across the country. I started in 2001, went from San Diego to St. Augustine, Florida. In 2007, went up the East Coast and across the Northwest. And 2012, started in Vancouver and went to Mexico on a bicycle. So it was 12,000 miles, but the whole purpose of it was to raise money for cancer research, ALS research, Lou Gehrig's disease,
Yes.
and for hospice, public awareness, and engaging people. This last ride, 2012, we raised $875,000. So all 3 rides have raised over $1.3 million. And what the money is going towards is research in the case of the 2 diseases and public awareness. And so we decided after this last ride, how do we create a program to engage people to think about the unexpected?
Yes.
If something were to happen? How do we create this gift for our loved ones? And that's what really we're talking about. It is a gift to our loved ones, for our caregivers, and if something were to happen to us.
Yeah, and Siv, how did you get involved? And you're the project director out at Barrington, Be at Ease. How did you get involved?
Well, it was really easy for me. Before I worked with Be at Ease, I was the community relations director for Advocate Good Shepherd Hospital in Barrington.
Yes.
And a large part of my job was really bringing together community coalitions to talk about health and improving the health of the community. So when I was asked to work on the Be at Ease project, thanks to Bob, and with his direction, I knew that the best way to move this forward in Barrington was through a community coalition, a community partnership. And having worked with a lot of the organizations in the community, I felt comfortable in going to them and talking to them about the project, that they would see some common interest with it. And so we did that. We chose some of our largest employers. We chose our area agency on aging, the Barrington Area Council on Aging. we went to our ministerial association. And I'm really pleased to say that when we explained what we were trying to do, not one of our potential partners said no. They all joined us in the project.
You know, I think it's very important because for the last week and a half, I'm going to go to 4 funerals.
Right.
And out of the 4, one was very happy to have a hospice in place. And the other one, I haven't talked to the other 2, which I'm going to go tomorrow to see what they have done. But the unexpected, you know, when you're in hospice, you may have a day or 2 days, maybe 2 weeks, who knows, but you want to reach before the hospice. Because the unexpected, you go get up in the morning one day, and I call up my friend. I was supposed to do a TV show with him on prostate cancer. His friend called back and said he died. You know, oh my God, I didn't know Jerry was that ill. So that's why unexpected is before hospice, before everything, and that's what your Be at Ease is all about.
Our goal is to engage everyone 18 or older
18 and older, yeah.
to fill out a document that will express their wishes if something were to happen unexpectedly.
Do you have a form that they can
Oh, we
fill out?
have an excellent form. It's 5 wishes.
Oh, 5 wishes.
And this is put out, it originally was done by Aging with Dignity, an organization. The American Bar Association had input into this, healthcare professionals had it, and we look for different documents of what could we use to engage people, and we came up with 5 wishes. And so it's a great document. It's used by 19 million people so far in this country.
19 million?
And so it's widely used. It's honored in 42 states. And right now, people could go on our website, beatease.org,
Okay.
beatease.org, and they can fill this out online,
Online?
which is neat.
Excellent.
But our goal was that we don't want any financial remuneration or
Sure.
cost to prevent someone from filling out their wishes. We think it's that important that everyone should have an advanced care plan in place, no matter what their economic status is. And we should do it while we're healthy. Planning for the end of life should not be done at the end of life. It should be done while we're of good health and good mind.
That's true. You know, my wife's been bugging me for the last 20 years or 30 years to do this there, and I've been putting it off. So
Here's
I
your
think,
document.
Sherry, I'm going to go. We're going to do this there.
Do it together.
5, yes. No, we won't die together, but
No.
we'll fill out the form together.
Right? No, fill it out together.
yeah.
And I'll guarantee you that you will feel better
Yes.
when you fill that out. But it's not just sharing it with your wife. Everyone that loves you and cares about you, you know,
Make it easy
your
on them.
sibling, your kids, your friendship. This is a gift to them, because how often do families get pulled apart when someone is critically ill, especially if it was unexpected, and the family members are all standing around, they think what dad wants. And one's saying this and one's saying that. Dad should say what dad wants. And that puts everyone at ease.
yeah.
That's why we're talking Be at Ease. It is a gift to keep families together, to watch families get pulled apart
Yes.
at a critical time. It's the patient, the family member that may be dying doesn't want that, but it happens. And it happens very regularly because we haven't had that communication. We haven't opened up that door. So it's great to take this home, fill it out with your wife, and if you have kids, sit down with them and share that story with them.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that regardless of income that a person has, or if they don't have any income, this is free.
Correct.
Which is very important, because we have a lot of families out there that are having a hard time now.
That's right.
And they cannot afford to go hire someone, and they could go fill this form out. You mentioned it's been reviewed by the Law Association. recognized in, I forgot how many countries,
42 states.
42 states.
Correct.
Correct.
And so this
Illinois is one of
Illinois,
those states.
And because you just don't know what's going to happen. And you
Well, Frank,
open-
you talked about your 4 friends. I mean, one of the most powerful things that we found is that everybody has a story. When we go to people, we did focus groups, we did groups of like PTO moms, we've done coffee around people's dining room tables, and we found that that's really the most successful way to have people feel comfortable in talking about this. Once they hear that they are not the only one that has this reluctance, this isn't an easy thing to talk about, but there are other people who have the same reluctance, and also other people who've had either very good experiences because they have their wishes in place, their family is able to respect their wishes, there aren't these disagreements, or we've heard the bad stories about people who haven't done this. And even from our physicians in our community, we've heard about terrible situations in the emergency room of a hospital where the children are absolutely at odds with each other about what's to happen to the parent. And those are the things that shouldn't happen.
Yes.
This is what we hope will bring families to being at ease with knowing each other's wishes.
And that makes it, like you said, easier on them because they're grieving, and they may not have time to think right.
Correct.
And if someone passes away today, they're buried in 3 or 4 days.
Well, on my bike ride, I would see memorials almost every day on the side of the road.
Yes.
Now those people went off to work or off to play or wherever they were heading thinking they had the rest of their life. Something happened. What that was, I don't know. But it was fatal in many cases. But how long did someone have to care for them? What decisions did people have to make for them? And how many are still in a hospital that may be confined to oxygen or a respirator or something, and they may not have chosen that if they could have spoken for themselves. So that's what we really are giving everyone a voice
I see.
to speak on their own behalf.
So
We've heard stories from people who sent a young person off to college, and after a weekend in health services, they realized it was spinal meningitis, and the
Yes.
person was gone. We've heard of young mothers who had extremely acute and invasive cancers that were diagnosed very late stage, and yet their families had no idea, how to manage all these complex decisions at a time when they really needed to be caring for that person and showing them the love and the support that a family could give without having to think through all these terribly difficult decisions.
Sure, like my friend that I'm going to go to the wake tomorrow. He had prostate cancer that metastasized throughout the body. He had a liver problem because he used to drink a lot. But I never realized he was that sick. And I called him up. I said, Jerry, we're going to do a show. He never returned my call. And his friend called and said, he passed away last Wednesday. And what he wanted to do was be a mentor to other male on prostate cancer. So we were going to do I did 2 shows with him, and we're going to do the 3rd show to explain about prostate cancer to men. And so we're going to continue the show. I mean, we're
Good.
going to continue
Good
the
on
prostate
his-
show. But this is what he wanted to help other people.
And that's exactly what we're trying to do
Now,
as well.
now the 3 steps now, Bob. The first step is
The first step is, this really is a 3-step process.
a 3
Think
step.
about it.
Think about it.
One, who do you want to speak on your behalf if you're not able to speak on your own for yourself?
Yeah.
What do you want them to say? So sometimes we sign someone up to be our medical power of attorney, but we don't sit down and have a conversation with them. You
Well,
need to have that conversation. What kind of care do you want or don't want?
Yeah.
In many cases, we may get to a situation and say, I don't want to continue in that stage of life.
Sure.
And we need to be able to express that. So it's a multi-step process, one, thinking about it. How do we want to be cared for? Do we want pain management or do we not want pain management? Most people say yes, but we've had some people say no. This document, 5 Wishes, gives you that flexibility of what kind of care do you want. But it also takes it to another level beyond a living will in that, how do you want to be remembered? You can talk about the personal, emotional situations that you will be confronted or your loved ones will be confronted with, and faith-oriented issues, and express that all in this one document, 5 Wishes. So it's broader than a living will.
Okay.
It's broader than a power of attorney. It takes care of both of those areas, but it expands those directions that you might want to give. So the first thing is think about what you want.
Okay.
The second is take and fill out 5 wishes.
5 wishes. Okay.
So it's documented. All it needs to be done is be witnessed by 2 people, non-medical, non-family members. Before this is activated, 2 doctors have to say, I do not think this patient is capable of making their medical decision. That's when this document kicks in.
Oh,
And you
okay.
get someone to step in and speak on your behalf. So we want to get this in writing. Share it with your wife, share it with your loved ones, share it with your doctor, share it with your hospital. I've given copies to everyone in our family. So they're all on the same wavelength.
So you fill it out, you share the copies.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, and take an extra copy when you sit down with your loved ones and say, why don't you fill out one as well? So
Okay, yeah.
it's important. So we want to first think about it.
Think about it.
Second, write it down.
Write it
and
down.
third, talk about it.
Talk about it.
So often we don't talk about what our wishes are. And talk about with, if you have, in our case, I have a daughter and son, I want both of them to hear the same story. And my wife and I have filled these out together, but we share them with our family. So my son is in Colorado, he's not thinking one thing, and our daughter is in Barrington, she's not thinking something else. We want everyone to be on the same page. Then I'm at ease, they're at ease. And that's the gift that we're really giving to our loved ones.
You know, so Sev, you've mentioned you went out to your community to
Yes.
businesses. How about faith organization in your community? How did they react to this?
They were one of our partners from the very beginning, and we actually have the Barrington Area Ministerial Association, which represents 17 major congregations in the Barrington area, among those several mega churches. When we went to them, they said, you know what, this is really going to help us, because we really feel that in many instances, the families don't come to us until so far along that we're not able to give them the kind of comfort and support that they really need. Sometimes the first thing we hear about is a request for the church at the funeral. And this really isn't what it's all about. We want to help them, as someone said recently, and I thought was so great, to say the good goodbye. We're really trying to allow people, including our faith congregations, to be able to participate in that life journey and to be able to help everyone in their congregation, every family, to go through what is often a very, very difficult time.
And you know, in church last Sunday, our minister mentioned that this student coming back from Missouri was in a car accident and is very critical.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know which way he's going to go. And here, who would know that this fellow was driving, coming back, would get in an accident?
Exactly.
You don't know. And why do we have life insurance? Why do we have automobile insurance? Why do we have homeowners insurance? It's because of the unexpected.
Yes.
And so we need to protect ourselves. And this is that emotional, personal protection plan that you put in place to protect yourself. And it doesn't cost something like an automobile. If we knew when we were going to have an automobile accident, we wouldn't carry the insurance until we had the accident and put it on the day before. We don't know that.
Yes.
And that's the same thing about doing your advanced care planning and filling out your 5 wishes. Do it now.
And you say this is on the website.
Yes.
A person could go on the website, and fill out the form on the website and print it out for free.
That's correct.
And so if people watching our show now,
Yes.
uh,
The name of the website is www.beatease.com. And if you go to our homepage, you'll see that there are several ways that you can click on to, I'm ready to fill out my document. And it will take you to 5 wishes. You can fill it out online. You can print it out. You can actually, it'll create a PDF, and you can send that electronically to anybody that you would like to have it, as well as having it as printing it in a paper format. And as Bob said, thanks to his generosity through the ride,
yes,
this is available free of charge.
you must have a new bike now, Bob, traveling all that 12,000
No,
miles.
I've bought a new bike for the last ride, and I think it came. I'm 71, so I think it came with a lifetime guarantee. So
Well, I'm 75.
I hope I'm still riding at 75. I've been on a 5-year plan, so hopefully maybe there's another ride yet to come. We'll see.
Well, I think if I buy now, maybe I'll buy a 3-wheeler Harley. So they go on the web, they fill out the forms, and they have their wife or kids sit with them on the form, on the TV there.
Well, you can share the PDF, as Sil said.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So
PDF.
you can create your form,
Right.
and then you can send it electronically to whoever you want
Oh.
to send it to. Send it to the hospital, send it to your physician, send it to your family member. So again, everyone has that. So often you fill out a living will and something happens and everyone's wondering where that living will is. Here now, once you get it electronically, you know that there's a copy floating around with one of the family members, so it's good. But the website will do something else in addition to just allowing an individual to fill out, their 5 wishes. We've set this up so any community can go online and see the type of campaign that Sil has developed, all the material that she has developed with the help of some other people in creating this website. They can go online and have their community drive just like we did.
Oh.
Barrington was a pilot program.
Yes, okay.
We wanted to see, how do you do that? How do you engage these different members of your community? And someone has to raise their hand and say, this is important to me. I want to make it happen in our community. It can be a book club. It can be a whole community. It can be, whatever organization you're part of or your congregation. But who's going to say, let's go on, we can print off documentation and go out and have our own campaign, engage other people.
And now, would you go out and throughout the county and speak to different groups still, or do you have speakers?
We have a colleague, Rachel Talene, who is
Yes.
sort of moving into this role, and she's actually spoken with several communities in the Chicago area already. And some of them are very interested in doing this. And just to go back to the website and the community resource kit, we meant that this is going to be something that's absolutely turnkey, that any community can take and use with very little investment, very little having to develop anything. We have templates for business cards, for stationery, we have posters, we have train the trainer kits, we have a 5-minute video. All of these are available to any community anywhere in the United States, actually anywhere in the world, who would like to do their own community drive free of charge, thanks again to Bob, our benefactor.
That's excellent. And it's Be at Ease, and you're coming out of Barrington,
Correct.
but it's going to cover all the United States, or maybe into other parts of different countries too.
That's our hope, and we actually launched this nationally. We were at the National Hospice and Palliative Care Organization Leadership Conference in Washington, D.C. about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And people were very, very receptive to.
Is that National Healthcare Decision Day?
No, that's another organization.
Another organization?
Yeah.
And what is that National Healthcare Decision Day?
National Healthcare Decisions Day has actually been identified as the one day during the year when every spotlight focuses on the need for advanced care planning, for putting your wishes in writing, for thinking about them, talking about them, sharing them with others. That's National Healthcare Decisions Day, every year on April 16th.
Oh, it just passed.
Yes.
I see. And now, Bob, how did you? Well, who started Be at Ease then?
Well, we worked on it together. I mean, Bob actually was the benefactor as well as a partner in it.
Okay.
We actually developed the model for how we were going to do this.
Boy, that took time and planning and a lot of thought.
About
Well,
a year and a half.
A year and a half, yes.
But it's important to do it right. And again, we didn't want to do this just for our community. This was a pilot program to be able to take nationally. And we just, the more people that fill out 5 wishes is the reward that we receive for doing this. And that's exciting when we hear of other communities and other congregations that are picking this up and saying, I want to do this.
Now, has any government agencies picked this up? Like the state of Illinois or the Cook County government or
Not at this point. We had wonderful backing from our village government in Barrington.
Okay.
And actually, when we launched our campaign and had our press conference, our village president, Karen Darch, was our champion.
Oh.
So we've been pretty much at the local level to this point.
So it took you a year and a half to set up Be at Ease.
Correct.
And when was your kickoff date on this one, on Be at Ease?
It was July of 2013.
July of 2013. And how many people since July 13 have you reached so far?
We have reached 4,000 people in the Barrington area.
Four-
We have distributed over 5,000 copies of the 5 Wishes, and we've spoken to over 40 local organizations. And we've been to everybody from the Rotary to congregations to people sitting around their dining room table over a cup of coffee.
Now, Sil, and then you, Bob, if you could leave the viewer with a final comment, what would it be?
For me, it would be, please take this work that we've done and use it, because it was absolutely not intended to be just for one community. We really want to share this with you. And we're very proud of it, and we think it will be very helpful and useful to you. And as an individual, please fill out your own 5 wishes.
And Bob, if you could leave the viewer with a final comment, what would it be?
Well, this is a gift. This is a gift to everyone that cares about you. It's a gift to your healthcare professionals. And so we want you to